What's up, y'all? This is BP.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Star Child.
It's your boy, Kid Dream. What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to Gamer Credits. This is going to be level 5. Let's introduce the players. Player 1, BP.
What up, kid? What's going on, man? It's been a minute.
Howdy. It has been a couple of minutes. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I figure out why this clapping still happening, but there we go.
Yeah, that's a lot of applause, man.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. Let's kind of check that out. But that's cool. Glad everything's good.
Yes, sir. And of course, we have player number 2, Star Child.
Thank you. Oh, wait, I'd rather the standing ovation recording. Do you have that still? No, you don't have that?
Wow. Okay.
Nah, we're gonna cut that down to a couple seconds, sir. Can't risk your ego.
Yeah, please don't. Please do not.
And now introducing Kid Dream.
Nice.
3. Oh, that was so short. Man, you cut it off early.
Yeah, man. The budget ran out. Sorry.
Yikes.
Of course. Well, before we take a jump into these topics, does anybody have a gaming moment they would
Spider-Man
like to
2.
share?
Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, BP.
Absolutely. Yeah. You already know how I do with Spider-Man 2. I mean, Spider-Man.
yeah.
It's the whole thing. But yeah, man, game of the week. It's game of the week. Game of, since it came out, Spider-Man 2,
Yes.
man. That's where I've been in. And, Kid and I were talking earlier, actually, and, he's already beaten it. So I'm kind of feeling sad about it because I'm still at 37%. But anyway, it's all good.
Wow.
But yeah, man, I mean, what do I really need to say, man, that hasn't been said by millions of other people by now? I mean, swinging through the city feels amazing. The fact that, you have the web wings now.
Oh, yeah.
Man, everything about it, man, just feels spectacular, man. And, it's
being able to switch between the 2 Spider-Men.
Also dope. Also very, very dope. And the fact that they have their own kind of quest here and there that are, specific to them. Yeah, man, it's great. I have no complaints so far. I mean, I hadn't finished, granted, but so far it's so good.
Nice. Okay. All right. Star.
So Mortal Kombat 1.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's not talking about Overwatch or Destiny this time. But yeah.
Finally.
I am enjoying the game. I haven't been playing it as much as I would like to, because it's more of a versus game. So I like to have my family, like my sister, my nephews, my cousins, so we can battle. But haven't been playing it as much as I would like. So what I can say about the game is, it's not like it's a reboot to the franchise at all. It's almost like they just had to make an excuse to just make another game. Oh, wow. And of course, just making some money. I ain't gonna be mad at them, and they'll keep making the game as long as it's good.
Yeah.
But it's missing some characters that I was thinking that they were going to at some point surprise us with, but I'm now at this point where some of those characters aren't coming. So I'm not even going to mention the characters. Don't matter. But the gameplay is fine. The animation is amazing. The only complaint would be it's a little bit too bright with the color or the paint, or however you want to explain how the template they're using, to where it feels less Mortal Kombat when you're looking at it, but it's really clear. It's really crisp. So I won't complain, but I wish it was a little bit grimier. That's about it.
I'll say that the Omni-Man trailer looked pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
I saw some of that, man. It looks that looks mad fun.
Yeah, he's gonna be a beast when they release him. I still don't think he's gonna be better than my Kenshi, but
Did he?
I don't know. Homelander. I can't wait for Homelander.
Homelander's going to be in there too?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
right.
sir.
I'm not mad at that. But Omni-Man, so did y'all see the one where I think it showed his fatality? Did y'all see that?
Yeah, with the train.
So my question, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like seeing fatalities displayed, but was that good to do that in a trailer? Wouldn't they just want to wait for the?
Nah.
Oh no! Every reveal they have done before the game was even released, they show the fatalities.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's
There's
cool. They doing that's
multiple
fine.
fatalities. That's not the only one that they will have in the game.
Makes sense. It's just funny because I saw it and like, don't get me wrong, I loved it. I was like, oh, this is freaking brutal. But I just kept thinking in my head, like, wouldn't it have been so much better if you just found it out and did it in the game? It's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, that makes sense. I got you.
So yeah, that was it.
Nice. That's pretty good. And I guess my gaming moment partly would be Spider-Man 2 because I have gone through, like BP said, and completed that game, and that was phenomenal.
Yes, sir.
The other acknowledgement I want to give out is to Cyberpunk, the Phantom Liberty expansion.
Yep.
Okay. I have gone through and I have already completed that as well. And I would say that was a very fun, great experience. I mean, the storytelling, the cinematics, the new area that they created for the expansion. It was just a blast to play. And I was telling BP this a little earlier. I kind of messed up. Later in the end of the expansion, you have to make a big choice, and the story kind of pivots one way or the other. I didn't drop a save at that point, so I finished it. I'm doing it this way, but now I'm like, I want to see the other ending. What if I would have chose that path instead? So because I really enjoyed it, I've already made another character that's already advanced to the expansion. So I'm gonna try a different build, switch things up a little bit, and I'm going to try the other path. So I'm pretty excited.
All right, nice, man. Okay. Yeah, man. So, yeah, man, that was dope. Man. Let's hear it for the... Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's dope. So,
yeah. So before we get into the main topics of the show, BP, you have some little nuggets you want to drop? Some news.
Yeah, man, the infamous nuggets of news that you deemed from the last episode, I believe. So, yeah, we can start off with talking about Nintendo, the president of Nintendo. I'm not going to try to say the name because I don't want to butcher it. But apparently he came out since, all the Switch 2 rumors were going out and circling around and, everybody's getting an idea that it's happening, of course. But he came out to say, nah, man, you can kill all that noise. We don't have any current plans for the Switch 2. So just want to get y'all thoughts on him coming out to say that and, any reasons why y'all might think he did that.
He's following.
Because I don't think none of us believe him, right? I mean, that's safe to say.
Nah.
Okay, I just making sure.
Nah.
He's following the pattern of Nintendo, man. This is what Nintendo has always done from the Switch to the Wii U. If there's ever any rumors, they have to deny it because, again, and we talked about this off air, they are always more so worried about the bottom line not impacting their current console sales. So they don't want to actually give anyone the impression that there's something new on the horizon because that would make people stop and save their money for the new thing instead of buying the current thing. So they clearly are working on the next gen. They're clearly going to have to release this soon because the current Switch is technically now so out of the league of the PS5 and the Xbox Series that they have to do something so they can allow these current games to be able to port onto their system without looking like how, unfortunately, MK1 came out looking like.
So, yes.
But again, I have a whole reason why MK1 came out looking like that on the Switch. Has everything to do with optimization, and they're not putting enough timing into that.
Go back to what you were saying.
But they are going to have to do something soon, and I think they already have something available, but they don't want to mess up their final year sales on their current Switch.
Yeah, okay. I agree 100%. It's just foolish for them to say, yeah, we don't have any future console coming out or a follow-up to the Switch, which is one of their most successful consoles. It'd be foolish of them to kind of say something like that, and then there has to be something next. So it's just fluff right now. I'm just excited to see what the nuke system is whenever they do finally want to announce it, because I feel like we've been talking about it for a while. I'm just ready to kind of see it, and I'm ready for next generation of Switch games.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of came off a little weird to me, just because like I just feel like at this point, isn't it safe to say that the peak of sales for the Switch has kind of gotten to its point? Like. And even for the holiday season, like let's say you're saying we don't want to announce that because we don't want to hurt our Switch sales for the season. And I'm just like, well, especially for like Black Friday and stuff. I mean, I think this would be the time where they would do like the bundle sets maybe, or whatever the case may be, that would end up selling it as best it could. So I don't see how an announcement or at least letting the rumors fly would hurt your sales. You know what I mean? Like I guess from a business aspect, one could really be concerned about it, but it just seemed weird to me because I'm like, you got your, because you got grandparents out there who are going to look at some of their grandchildren and say, hey, they like games. So what is this Switch thing over here? Oh, I'll get it for them. So it's not, I don't think it's going to stop it. So I don't know. It was kind of really weird, but hey, what do I know?
It would stop me. And I'm just being honest. If I have not owned the Switch yet and I'm hearing that there's a Switch 2 coming out, why would I buy the Switch? I would wait.
And to be fair, and to that end, I do consider it for gamers. Absolutely. People who, like yourself, absolutely. I would agree on that 100%. But I just also look at the aspect of how many people out there get these types of consoles for, kids where they don't have nothing to do with the games. They don't know anything about that stuff. They just know, this is something that little Timmy might want for Christmas. So I don't know. That's why I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But to your end, Star, you're right.
I was saying Nintendo can't do no wrong, so I'm just agreeing with the president at the moment.
All right,
so
what's the next nugget we got here? Come on. Anyway.
All right, well, moving on. So the next thing is this Modern Warfare 3 situation. Kid, you and I spoke about this. I don't know what episode it was. I think it was maybe a couple episodes ago. Yeah. But we were just kind of talking about our concerns and the fact that it didn't seem like they were even advertising the game, but it was more like a literal cash grab that they were putting out there when they said, hey, don't forget to pre-order for your whatever amount of tokens. And it's just like, dude, you didn't even show barely any gameplay. You're like, what are you doing? So yeah, it's not doing something, apparently, from what I hear out there. Not to get too into it, but just basically saying how short the campaign is and
like 3 hours.
Yeah, man.
3 hours.
3 hours, bro. Like crazy.
And then,
how to open. Go ahead.
And then apparently, like, nothing happens within that 3 hours as well. So it's not even like an exciting 3 hours. It's just mediocre 3 hours.
Right.
Which is worse.
It's very bad. It's very bad. As you definitely don't want to hear that for a Call of Duty campaign. Yeah. Anyway. So what you thought? What are your thoughts, Star? Like, I mean, I know you don't really.
I don't play that game. I didn't even try to even research anything on it. I don't want to sound fake talking about it. So
fair.
Well, you saved yourself a lot of pain, so I'm not mad at you, man.
Okay.
Not at all. Okay. Yeah, it's just really bad.
Dang.
So I guess moving on from that, since that's all the time we need to give it. It's about shorter than the campaign. So
all right, give yourself a round of applause.
Yeah, I would, but the budget's still low. So anyway,
I'm saying Usher already did a song called "Burn," so we don't have to keep trying to remake that.
Hey, I could have played. Never mind. Copyright. Never mind.
Yeah, you trying to get this?
Yeah, trying to get him up. So I guess for the final nuggets of news, and this is really kind of less news. It was more of something I pulled from this guy's channel, RGT85. He brought up a video basically saying how Metacritic is ruining video games. So I'm going to put the link, if I remember, hopefully, in the description of this episode, because definitely it's worth checking out, because I think he did make some interesting points. But overall, I think his whole stance was just like how Metacritic is essentially used and how detrimental it can be to games. To give you an example, I think he had mentioned the former, I don't know if it was a former CEO, director, or whatever of Days Gone. Had mentioned something about Sony being like, well, what's the Metacritic score like? Like, they didn't even really concern themselves much with the sales as opposed to the Metacritic scores. And that being kind of the driving force of maybe the decisions made for the game's future, including maybe the sequel. So it was just something interesting to think about. So I just kind of want to throw it out there and see what y'all thought. If y'all felt like Metacritic kind of has that impact. Is it a big deal or what?
Can we trust the actual findings from their results? Is there a way that we can confirm that they're not, playing with the numbers on the back end? Like, can we trust it? That's mainly my question.
Yeah. So the way Metacritic works, it's there's two scores. There's the critic score, which is actual critics. I think your IGN, GameSpot, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Then there's a user score, which anybody can just make an account and then give the game a score. So what happens a lot, and I think Metacritic is both a useful, but it could be a dangerous tool, but more so useful when it's used for the right reason. It's a way for gamers to kind of express their frustration when these companies and publishers make stupid decisions. It's a way to kind of go and vote and say, hey, what you did isn't cool. I don't like this, and review bomb the game. And granted, can be definitely taken advantage of by a lot of people, and it definitely has. But when done right, I feel like it does send a loud message to the company to say, hey, look, what we did wasn't cool. The fan base doesn't like it. It does have its perks.
Yeah. So I guess that still doesn't sound like we can trust it, is what you're saying, right? So why would a president of any company want to follow whatever statistics is coming from a certain platform that can be basically altered because of people's feelings and not the actual reason behind why you're judging the game for that percentage?
He probably was speaking more towards the critic score, which, like I said, that would just be actual legit critics and journalists.
No, I think he was. I think he was covering all grounds of it, because he did mention what Star just said about the feelings part. Because you can go in there and people have a feeling of not liking a certain aspect of the game story or whatever, and so it's like, you're talking about for example, if you bring up a transgender part of the story, and that you get some people out there who don't really fall in that camp of supporting that, so they'll be like, oh yeah, let's review bomb it. And I know, right, I'm losing my tongue here, but review bomb it and just basically express our disgust in that kind of way. So yeah, I think that's what he was kind of trying to, part of it was him covering that as well, I think.
Yeah. What's the other thing they do for movies, like Rotten Tomatoes? I'm hoping that no production company or studio that CEO is looking at those numbers to figure out if they want to remake a movie or not, because we already know how that whole system works. Is anybody can go up there and just lay out their grievances by giving a movie a very low score because they just didn't like the actress, but the movie can have a amazing storyline, can have a bunch of good things going for it, but the way that they are trying to judge the movies on one particular aspect, which again does not make it the real review. So why would they even rely on anything like that? As if you're at that level, and you got all these other statistical analytical reports to go by that would be more factual with their results, why would you go by any of this?
So I think it's go ahead.
No, I was gonna wrap it up to get to the first topic.
Yeah, this wasn't a topic. Good point.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's cool.
Did you want to?
No, I think that wraps up the Nuggets news. There was one quick thing I wanted to throw in, but that might have to be a topic for a different show. Because I kind of wanted to talk about the whole Baldur's Gate high expectation setting thing, but because I think I wanted to talk about that last episode, but we didn't get a chance. So we'll just have to put a pin in it, maybe do it for the next episode, because I think that's worth a discussion. That's going to take quite a bit.
I'm always down to talk about Baldur's Gate.
Of course, that's why I knew it would work.
But before we move on, to put it into perspective for everybody, the Metacritic score for Days Gone, the critic score was 71, and then the user score was 8.4. So,
okay, that's pretty good.
Not terrible reviews. Considered.
Yeah, but I guess they weren't, because it wasn't the whole high, the whole 90s and high 80s or whatever.
High 80s.
So, but it is what it is.
Guys, I don't know about you, but I have been waiting years and years and years for this game to come out. It's been talked about, rumors, speculation. It had that big hack, I think last year, where so much information came out. We have been waiting and waiting and waiting. Do y'all know what game I'm referring to?
I think our audience is waiting.
Grand Theft Auto 6.
Hey, there it is.
Rockstar announced today, actually, November 8th, that early in December, early next month, we will be getting the trailer for the next Grand Theft Auto game. Basically, Grand Theft Auto 6.
So I just like to say that I guess it's finally here. It finally it's happening, guys.
Finally.
It's apparently the year 2512 has shown up because that's the time that I had it slated for it to actually be announced.
Yep.
So yeah, that's cool. It's cool that we're here at this moment. And to your credit, it's been something that's been brewing for quite some time amongst the community for sure. Like, well, just in gamers in general. Like, man, when are we going to see this thing?
Yeah.
And
I mean, we knew it was coming. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 made so much money and such a big franchise.
Absolutely. So,
and it just sucks because it's like we haven't gotten any information, like nothing like really official anyway. Everything has just been like leaks and speculations and rumors. It's like they've been like so close-lipped about everything about it. So it's like that's what sucks even more is we've gone so long with just nothing
at all. There's rumors.
Yeah. And can I say like how impressive that is that they were able to keep that tight-lipped about it? Because in the age we're in now, like that's pretty impressive, man. Because
besides that leak,
I mean, sure, absolutely.
Those leaks actually like gave us any insight though, because a lot of that stuff was almost like early builds, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot of early stuff.
Yeah, I think it gave us kind of some ideas of maybe the possible directions, but even then, it's like was like you said, is pre-alpha stuff, so it's like you don't really know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's speculation. So yeah, it's crazy, man.
But
so
speaking of speculation, like, well, GTA 6. First off, when are we thinking?
I'm hoping that we don't have to download this game because I don't know if there's a external hard drive cheap enough for me to afford to play this thing on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to reach the Modern Warfare levels of this size, because I think Modern Warfare 3 was 213, 234 or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know if it'll get that point. I hope not. God, I hope not.
I don't know, man. It might be hyper realistic.
Now, I'll say this. If it takes that for us to get such an amazing open world experience that, we know that GTA can deliver, then, hey, okay. I'm saying, I mean, whatever. Just some stuff just going to have to go off the hard drive. That's just a reality.
But, I mean, time frame, what are we guys thinking? You thinking next year? You think we could see this in next year? Probably, late next year?
I feel like next year is your thing right now because you keep saying it. I think it's possible, but
I'm just wondering. I mean, because they could definitely pull up Bethesda and announce it when it's almost finished. Like,
true.
Like for the famous example, I think Fallout 4, they announced it at E3, which was in like June, and it came out like September, October that year.
Yeah.
So not even like 6 months later, and not to say that's what they're going to do, but what if that's why they've been so case closed about it, because they didn't want any information to come out because they wanted to just go from marketing to release in like a very short window.
I mean, I think I might play it a little more safe and say maybe 2025, maybe early 2025, possibly.
Yeah.
So. Because by the way, when are aren't we supposed to be getting like the refreshes of the newer or the current gen consoles, like the PS5 Pro and all that stuff, like next year or I forgot.
Yeah, I think so. I think
so. I'm just kind of wondering if maybe they wouldn't to that end they might end up doing it next year because they might want to kind of sell that hype. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean, part of me just saying 2025 though, but go ahead.
No, I was saying, just imagine a GTA 6 bundle with one of those newer PS5s. That would be
a really good time.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be very good timing. So you might be right, kid. You might be onto something.
I hope so. So, like, what kind of like gameplay mechanics or systems would you guys want? Like to start, to give y'all a second to think. I want to see like and don't judge me or nothing. I want to see like the crime.
Too late.
Like, I know. Like expanded and explored a little bit more, like more places to like rob, but like different ways to rob them, or like different type of like heists and situations and planning and stuff like that you can do. I wanted to kind of, especially if the rumors are true and it's like a whole Bonnie and Clyde type situation and you're literally like robbers and stuff. Like, give me more options and freedom and way to kind of do it and participate in more like, you know, crime activities and stuff like that. Like, I think that could be pretty cool.
Okay. Any specific thoughts on types of the robberies that you've clearly fantasized about?
There it is. There it is. You know, it could be cool to kind of see them work up to a bank. You know, let's say a small gas station, then maybe a drugstore, maybe a grocery store. You know, they get bigger and bigger, and then finally they hit up, you know, a small local community bank or something. You know, with like 2 employees. You know, and progressively get bigger and bigger.
All right. All right. Not too bad. What about you, Star? What you feel?
Now, I have a complaint with. Now, hear me out. So,
no, I'm listening. Okay.
In the real world, you know, we had situations like George Floyd happen, you know, where police brutality is technically not a joke anymore. So, for GTA 6, I was wondering if they were to try to create some type of gameplay mechanic with the police where instead of being ultra violent and just shooting people and killing people, you're able just to kill the cops, that there's some actual circumstances where you can honestly be arrested alive. And basically, you can have an option of either paying a fine, getting out of jail, or having someone break you out of jail. But like less cop killings, like there's less of that. That seems like they can't get away with that as much now.
Well, leave it in as an option, you know. It's an option.
Yeah, okay, option maybe. But yeah, other than that, any other crimes I can see them just going overboard because it's GTA. I think they need to bring back more of the adult theme stuff as well, because they clean it up a little bit with GTA 5, but I felt like, you know, GTA can't be GTA if you can't get a little grimier with some of those things.
Yeah.
So basically, like Pornhub is what you're looking for in there.
Nice.
I never said that, but since you brought it up.
Oh man. What about you, BP?
Oh man. So, you know, I kind of did like your idea, kid, about the expanding on like the different types of robberies and, you know, heists that you can do. That'd be a pretty cool concept. I was thinking more along the lines of maybe adding in some kind of go back to San Andreas where you had like those how do I say this? Like those hood takeover moments where, like, let's say you own parts of the neighborhood, and then you have like gangs trying to come over and take over. I kind of like that aspect of it. I know some people maybe found it a little tedious, but I liked it just because of the whole. It just was just fresh and different, and it just kind of gave you that domain of, okay, I really feel like I'm in charge, and I really feel like I got to regulate stuff, and protect mine. You know what I mean? And to build off of that point, I was thinking when you were talking about like heists and building up to those things, I was like, what if my mind just started drifting to points of what if the heist involved like hitting up like other rival gangs or like big time drug dealers, kind of like the Cayo Perico heist, you know, with GTA 5, but more so like not only does it stop there, but then you move in to take over that whole empire. So like maybe you go to that island that belonged to that person, but then now you do what you do, and then it's like you take over that island, and then you're the next person. So I don't know, just stuff like that would be pretty cool.
I like
sounds probably more complicated than what could be technically done, but hey, you know, maybe we'll be surprised.
No, I like it.
Yeah. So just add some other elements of the San Andreas, by the way, like all those different things of like dude work, you know, that you can have your character work out. You know, all muscular or a bit huge and eat a bunch of food and just don't care. Like, I don't know. It was just stuff like that that was really cool to me. I really miss.
They should add some fast tracking into the game too, so you don't have to drive literally 2 hours to get somewhere. Like,
dude, listen, man. Like, and the funny thing is, I really wrestled with that thought for the longest time because I was like, I get it. You know, you want to kind of create that atmosphere of realism, but at some point, man. Yeah, it gets very tedious trying to travel across country.
I'll tell you what.
To a point. Mm-hmm.
They should have the fast travel system be like it is in Spider-Man 2. BP, have you used the fast travel in Spider-Man 2?
I have not yet, but I know what you're talking about. I've seen where actually I unlocked some of them. I hadn't just used it. I've had too much fun swinging around, so I'm sorry. But but yeah, I used it in the first Spider-Man because they had that too. I don't think it was unlocked the same way, but I remember they did have fast travel in that as well.
So would it be, because I had never played the games to that point, so would it be where you have to first get there the normal way, but once you get to that location, you unlock that location so where you can always fast travel back to it?
I think pretty much, yeah. From
Okay.
for what I remember.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
We lost Kid real quick. He just texted me, said a blue screen. So
crap. Okay, well, this filled in for Kid until he
yeah, man, we got this.
So
we got this.
Remember, we was also talking about with I think it was called Matrix Awakens on the PS5, how that was showing like an option of an open world type of gameplay with the Matrix characters, the movie, but it was more how it was so super realistic and how the characters look, how the artifacts for the world look, the lighting. Would GTA 6 try to keep close to that Real Engine 5 type of technology, or are they going to be trying to use their own? But I'm not sure what GTA actually uses for its platform.
That's a good question. I think they have their own.
I said it's Unreal 6. I think is the latest. I think.
Oh, is it? Oh, dang, that's news to me. No, that's seriously. I didn't even know because I think it was Unreal 5 still or something. But yeah, I think Rockstar has their own game engine, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But to your question, I thought about that too. As much as I guess it kind of really depends on the direction of the game, because with 5 and other games before it, their focus tended to be more with I think Kid's back. Yeah, I'm adding them in. I think their focus tended to be more with all of the featureful content you can have in a game, as opposed to like the graphic fidelity of it in the assets. I think that the only time I've seen them actually really push for the graphics and the different type of looks was
hey Kid.
Welcome back, Kid.
I'm back.
Yeah, we were just going into what Star was asking about, like you can say it again, Star. I don't want to mess your words up.
I mean, I don't even remember, but we were talking about the graphics and the fidelity of the game itself. But since like the actual Matrix Awakens that came out on the PS5 as a demo, it was using, I think it was Unreal 5 or 6, I can't remember, but how realistic it was and how it was like ray tracing and had so many different things going on with the buildings. You could walk into these things, every car was able to get driven. It was like so much access in that demo. I was wondering if the GTA 6 is going to follow suit and make the games that expansive to where you can basically anything you see, you can interact with. Even the NPCs can have full conversations with them through some type of AI generating dialogue. But like I was just trying to like say if they're going to go that route and making this game so immersive to where they won't have to worry about another GTA game for another 20 years because
I can see that as a goal. Yeah, for sure.
So that was my question. How deep in graphics and acts and again the fidelity and how grand can this game be?
Yeah,
it's gonna be nice. I mean, just look at how Grand Theft Auto 5 looked, and remember that originally came out on 360 not 360, the Xbox One and PS4.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, it did.
I mean, no. It did come out because I know it was on PS3. So if it was on PS3, it had to be on Xbox 360 originally.
You sure?
Yeah, because we're 3 generations deep in it.
Okay.
Which is why that part of the meme that people said that we're waiting so long.
That's hilarious. But yeah, so it's like, I mean, and back then it still looks good. I mean, even to today's standards, that looks like a really good game. So if it looked good then, yeah, just imagine how it's going to look with the new advancements in technology and the hardware.
Yeah. I mean, the PC did those mods that made a game look like it was running on some type of crazy platform. So
I saw that mod. Yeah, that was nice. Because I think that was their whole take on what it would look like if Unreal 5 was used or something like that. So
yeah.
And I was telling before you came in, Kid, I was telling Star that I think it just kind of depends on their focus of the game. So I was telling them before with like, you looked at San Andreas and even some people regard 5 as like maybe not as graphically up there with like other games that you see that have like that graphic fidelity. But the thing is that the focus was more on what all can happen in it, like all the how do I really say it, like just the different types of activities and things you can do in there. Especially with San Andreas, like you just had so many different elements you could do. You had the character physique that can change based on your habits, and a lot of customizable things. And before, I think right before you jumped in, I was about to get into the point of GTA 4, because I think the last time when they tried to really push hard for graphic improvement was GTA 4, but then a lot of it was kind of grounded towards realism. So you didn't really have like you didn't really have like the feel of San Andreas and how 5 feels, where you can kind of run fast and loose with the car, the driving mechanics. It was all more realistically based. So I think it just depends. I think from the track record I'm seeing, they're probably going to stick more with, like, don't get me wrong, it's going to look good, right? But I just don't think that that's going to be the highest focus of the graphic fidelity. I think it's going to be more geared towards what can happen in the game. Like to your point, Star, can you step in this store? Can you go into this building? And hell, sometimes would they even consider destruction? Like, can you destroy certain parts? Destructible environments. So, like, I don't know. I think they'll be kind of more focused on that part, if that's the case.
It is direction. Definitely exciting, and I'm hoping next month we'll have some very exciting and interesting information to share with everybody. So please stay tuned.
Yes, indeed.
Here's another thing now. I just want to add this into there, because I know that GTA doesn't really add children into the game. So I was wondering, would they start making it where you can create families or relationships?
I hope not.
Or like Sims. Like,
man. You imagine? You imagine?
No, not at all. I mean, I don't know.
No, I mean, I'm just scared to imagine that. Like,
no,
you got the most vile people on GTA, including myself. So,
boy, okay.
I'm not that bad, but I'm just saying, like, come on, like, I'm not bad. I might have ran a few heists in there, and then Star can attest to that.
There's gonna be some rules.
I don't know, Star. I mean, typically speaking, I thought the rules was, you ain't supposed to shoot up your homie, and or hit him in the back of the head with a pistol.
Wow. Okay.
Sometimes life happens apparently in GTA.
This is we know where this is going, and for anyone who's missing out on this backstory, there's this lie that's been perpetuating between a circle of friends.
Oh wow!
That I have been killing my own teammates in GTA 5, which was not the case.
Wow.
Okay. I'm so glad that you said that, because I still have that video, sir. So I will definitely be adding it to the YouTube channel. Absolutely.
Wow.
You know what?
I'm gonna add it right at this part right here. Right at this part.
Make sure when you add it that the description will describe precisely what happened. Was you walked into a hitbox zone and my character just automatically attacked you, but it wasn't me that did that. It was the game.
That's awful, buddy.
I love it. Hey, man, all this time you still stuck with that. That's cool, though, man.
And then the money, when it came out, my character just walks over it, and of course it collects it, because that's how the game is designed.
And see, ladies and gentlemen, this is the same guy that's talking about families and starting families and having kids. So just beware.
Boy.
That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, kid, if you ever want to just start GTA 5, join up. I want to know how much is in your account too.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Hey,
brazen about it now.
All right.
Oh man, our homies, our homies gonna have a field day with this. You already know.
Hey, I purposely did this for them, so hopefully they appreciate that.
Nice.
Well, Insomniac Games is hoping we appreciate Spider-Man 2 and Venom.
Oh, yeah.
Because they announced shortly thereafter the game came out that if the fans like it, they consider doing a Venom spin-off game. And
I'm down for that.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah,
100%.
It's kind of what I wanted to talk about, because we're starting to see that, especially with Sony, more and more of these like spin-off games. We think back to Spider-Man and Miles Morales, Uncharted, The Lost Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're talking about Spider-Man 2 and let's just say Venom. It's definitely an interesting tactic, and it is one I also like because you already have the base game, which is a fun and great experience, but you want just like a little bit more. So I like these like chunky little expansions that we get from some of our favorite games, and it's a great strategy on their part, I will say.
Yeah, I mean my question would be: is Venom the actual main character you playing, or are you playing against him? Because I don't know. I don't want to play as. That's me saying this. Like, not. I don't want to play Venom. Like
you would be playing as Venom.
Okay.
Interesting. Well, I'm curious, Star. Why do you say that? Is he not like a favorite character of yours, or like
So Peter Parker or Miles Morales, if they get the suit and you get to use his abilities, I get that. But are we saying that Venom himself is not going? You're not going to have a Peter Parker or Miles Morales? It's just Venom completely.
Well, I would imagine. Well,
they might make cameos. I mean, I would imagine.
Yeah, they would probably hop in here or there, or be a little bit of part of it. But the main story wouldn't be about them, and they would probably be doing something else, even potentially. It would be. Okay. It would focus more on Venom and like his story if they do it how they did in the other expansions.
Okay. All right. So my mind is now on that way. So.
So they would flesh him out, give him a little more story, abilities, things like that. I would imagine they would make it be like his own character.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I mean, they could get away with it too because they never with Spider-Man. Like it has dark parts to it where people die clearly, and at least they report in brutal ways. So I think that the world could be established for that kind of thing with Venom because Venom, he's well, at least the early parts of Venom. That I remember his blood. Yeah, it's like the one I remember is bloodthirsty. Like he takes vengeance to a whole nother level, like a la Punisher. But so yeah, to that end, I would really be excited on how they do it. How they spin that, and I think it'll be pretty good. They haven't really missed yet with like have they really missed with like spinoff stories?
So far, no. Even when you let me borrow Lost Legacy, I played through that. I enjoyed it. It was exactly what I want from these type of things. It's keeping true to the base game, so the mechanics are still kind of there, but introduce some new gimmicks or something, and let me play a little bit more of the game with a little bit of a new story and new scenery. It's just like it's perfect. It's not a sequel, but it's just enough of more to feel satisfying.
Yeah, I agree. So about you, Star?
I mean, I'm still trying to think of how the game would play. Like, is it possible while you're Venom, you can just assimilate? Is it assimilate? I'm not sure what word to use. Can you just jump onto anybody and take control of their bodies and get their abilities and stuff? Like, it's like how I can't picture yet. And again, I'm not the designer or developer, so it's not up to me, but I just can't picture how the gameplay will play out for a full game with just Venom. He's always just been the enemy or something, or just a extra ability used up the main character. So,
to be fair, he's only really been an enemy or villain of Spider-Man. Like he's correct. Not really. I'm not saying he doesn't have bad tendencies. Of course, he had bad traits, but he still had a heart that was in the right place, where it was like, I'm going to put a stop to crime, for example. I'm going to put a stop to people who hurt others. For the most part. So I anti-hero stuff.
So Star, I can't say much because it starts to get into spoiler territory.
Yeah, please. But I was so nervous the whole time.
I'm not going to say anything. But if you play the game, it makes sense. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. So it's exciting news for me when I heard it. I was over the moon after I played more of the game. Now knowing that news, and I really hope that they kind of go for it. And honestly, just overall, this is a trend I want to see more. There's a rumor going around that they are doing the same thing with God of War. So it would be a spinoff like mini expansion, kind of like Miles Morales. They would focus on Atreus and his journey. At the end of the Ragnarok, I won't say what he's doing, but just for spoiler situations. But you get to play as Atreus, and it would be about 15-20 hours long, cost about $30-$40 or whatever, and it would be like a little small mini expansion. which they could then use to lead into the next God of War game, the next mainline one. So I love the strategy. It gives you more of what you love before the next big game comes out. It's just so great.
Okay. I can see that.
I felt bad the whole time because every time you kept saying Atreus, man, my mind just kept going to Atreyu, and I don't know why. I know that's so random and weird. Atreyu, you don't remember Atreyu from?
Never in the story?
I know. We're going to show our age, man. I swear. But still, yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's Atreus, man. You kept saying it. Just my mind just kept going to Atreyu. And I'm just like, dog, you got to chill. Like, I don't know why.
Dang. Okay.
So,
that needs a video game. Just saying. Let's put out
never
there.
In the story?
Yes, that needs a video game.
Maybe.
Yeah. It'll be way better than the was it Final Fantasy?
Wait, I'm sorry.
Wow.
And you know what? Star, I heard you, but I'm not even gonna. You already know it's a trigger for me, so I'm not even gonna go that route.
I'm joking.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done. Yeah. No, but to Kid's point, man, I just feel like there's definitely a market for like the spinoffs like that, for sure. And as long as it makes sense, like you said earlier, as long as it kind of just ties in with the game, before it and can expound on the universe and everything like that of that game.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I mean, absolutely bring them on. That's what I say. I know it's not much to add, but it was just, it's I don't know. Like, it's just something where, like, I like to kind of experience case by case. But I think it'd be good that they, keep going that route. I mean, I just hope that it doesn't get to a fatigue point for like spinoffs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yes, there's always such thing as too much of a good thing. So it's like just kind of relax, and
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you don't want to have every single one have it, and then it gets to a point where you feel like it's kind of unnecessary. It doesn't add much to it because I don't think every game necessarily needs it. But while we have it now, I am definitely enjoying it, and I kind of hope.
Yeah.
They keep knocking out the park.
Yeah, because it's like you said, if it makes sense, cool. But then you get those that if they want to just follow the trend of, they're doing so well with it, so let's do it. It's like, but you have no reason to do it at all. Like we don't like any other characters, but the main ones that are right there. So don't do that. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man. But hey, I think this leads us perfectly into our last topic. You guys are ready?
Yes.
Oh man, always.
People aren't very happy with Destiny. Destiny's kind of going through a lot, I think, actually. Is that right?
Yeah, quite a bit.
I wasn't happy with Destiny since Destiny 2. So
yeah, I can respect that. Yeah.
Oh, what's going on with Bungie now?
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, yeah, I probably need to get more into it. So there's a lot. Honestly, guys, there's so much here that I wouldn't even know where to begin. But let me just kind of go with kind of the biggest talking points. One of the big things with Bungie is the layoffs that they unfortunately had to experience. I think, like, from my understanding, 8% of the staff was let go. And we're not just talking about, like, I don't want to say this because I don't really feel like anybody's disposable, but you know how they have like these hierarchies of, they've been here for a few months or like weeks, so they're disposable. We can kind of clear out room from that, for them. No, it's actually people who've been there for a while, like veterans. I think from my understanding of some veteran developers, they got rid of the composer.
Wow.
I think the main composer of Destiny. And I mean, when I say like veteran, like, yeah, I really don't remember his name, and I need to find his name because I feel bad not remembering it now. But but I'm pretty sure if you Google it, and I'm sure it'll come right up. But anyway, but he's been around since I think the Halo days of Bungie. Wow. And and he's done music on that and all the music of Destiny, if I'm not mistaken. And they let him go. So it's a big deal, man. It's a big deal, and I think it's just the way they let him go. I would kind of rely on our audience to do a lot of research. Like I said, it's a lot, and I'll probably be talking forever to cover every single aspect in detail from what I read. But it was just a mess. There was a lot of shadiness to the layoffs. There was a lot of, let's say, not to anybody's surprise here, I imagine, a lot of like ignoring of like the lower not lower, but like the employees there that were begging for changes, saying, "Hey, you know, we're losing this player base, or they're really upset, or they're really feeling some kind of way about this. Here's some ideas, or here's some ways to gain them back." And each and every time it fell on deaf ears. So, that was the thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I tell you, man, it's just sad to see all these bad things kind of come from Bungie and Destiny, because I just think back to the OG days of Destiny 1, bro.
Yeah.
How hype it was. Like, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember doing Vault of Glass for the very first time?
Yes.
I do. Yes.
Bro,
and,
a gaming moment to freaking remember for life, bro. Like, such a classic like experience. Like, it's so amazing. So it's just sad to kind of see what it used to be and then what it is today. And it's just like, bums me out, man. Bums me out.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of people are feeling, man. Like, that's the sentiment. Like, just remembering the times of the good old days, or just, you know, and I mean, things weren't perfect then either, but it's like, versus now, you know, it's just kind of like more focus on, oh yeah, let's put out some good content, some stuff, or good enough, or, you know, some content that people can enjoy. And if they don't, okay, cool, we'll go back to the drawing board and come up with something like Taken King and blow everybody away with that. And yeah, it's just, it's just really sad thinking back to times where things like that happen, and now versus now, where it's like everything's so either Eververse driven or,
That's a good point that you're making with the monetization. I just wanted to budge in real quick to say, that's also what kind of makes it hard for like a new person to try to hop into Destiny, because it's on Steam now. So with Steam, you can just see all like the DLC content and it totals it up for you. I'm looking right now. All the content that's available for this game. You want to take a guess how much it costs?
I'm going to say a good $400 right now.
This is all the DLC with the annual pass, the anniversary pack, Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, you know, all the expansions. This is like everything for the game. And take a guess how much it costs?
More than 400?
More than 400.
How much?
$564.
They are out of their minds.
I mean, granted, that's to get everything here.
You know why is everything still sounds like it's still being charged full price? So some of that stuff is so old, it should be really reduced in price.
I heard some people make those points too, where that was kind of the ridiculous part too. Because I think that's like an industry-wide thing I've seen noticed too a lot, where the prices just rarely drop, and they kind of make these excuses of, well, you know, the valuation of it still holds it dear at $50 or $60 or $70. It's like, dude, come on now. We're getting.
I will tell you, that is one thing I do love about Steam, and why Steam is like my daily driver for PC gaming. The Steam sales, bro, they go crazy. So like, even this right here, like it's $564 right now. If this is on a Steam sale, this could easily be $100. Easily $100, because their sales go crazy. And the bundles, I'll tell you, last side note, after playing Spider-Man 2, I was itching to kind of play more superhero games. So people were, recommending Batman Arkham Asylum games. Steam, funny enough, a few days after Spider-Man came out, Steam had a bundle for the Batman Arkham collection. So all three of the Arkham games besides the one Rocksteady didn't make. Can't remember which, Origins or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's Origins. That's a damn shame. I love Origins.
It didn't include that one. I could have bought it, but I was like, it's whatever. All three games I got for like $8.
Nice.
And it's the game. It's the Game of the Year edition, so it's the complete bundle with all the extra DLC and everything. And all three games, like $9.
That's not bad, man. That's not bad. And that's Steam for you, man. Steam will get you in trouble, man, if you ain't careful. You spend a whole lot.
It's dangerous because you'll see that low price and you're like, well, might as well. I'm interested in the game. And your backlog will just get bigger and bigger because you never play the games.
That's exactly where I'm at. I'm just like, so many of it. And it's because of Steam. But it's a testament, honestly. It's a testament to how good those sales can be, man. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
So,
Destiny's in trouble, man. It's.
But to your point, I'm glad you brought it up, kid, because that's really the function that I think a lot of people, mainly YouTubers, are bringing up too, especially, was the whole concept of newer players and what do they do? You know, like where do they come in? And, you know, you don't even have the original campaign. I think we said that before, where you don't even have the original campaign of Destiny 2 anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, they come in, they're just like, I don't know what's going on. Like, all I know is I just spent like you just said, $500 some to get everything to play with my friends, and I don't even know where to begin. Like, what do I do?
That game was never designed. This is just from me playing this game for so many years. It was never designed to be staged out the way that it's been staged out. It's just stayed at just being a Destiny game, not Destiny 1, not Destiny 2, but stay as a Destiny game and allow people just to be able to just learn the lore of the game by playing the game. It shouldn't be based on PvE and PvP and having to keep building your light levels and weapon levels. No, I felt like the game should have been story driven and stay story driven. That was where it was fun, because you had the fire teams, you had your friends with you, you can build relationships with people online and just learn the story together. But they try to turn it into like Call of Duty, and they try to make it like this type of game where it's all about just the weapons. And again, they did the weapons right. This game, to me, one of the strongest points were how the weapons felt, how different they were for the amounts that they had in the game. But it should have stayed based on a story, and they just got so lazy with the story to where it's like, yeah, you're playing the game because the new DLC is giving like another part to the story, but you don't really learn anything about the story, because while you're playing the game, you don't get to care anymore. You're just now stuck playing rehashed gameplay. It's so, I don't know. I don't want to keep complaining at all, but enemies are the same regardless of the kind of skin they throw on them. It's like they got very lazy, but they try to trick the player base by making the game feel different slightly, but again, the new skins. But it's the same gameplay over and over again. So it's not much substance in the game. In the story, it does not give you any substance either. So
I mean, go ahead.
I think for me, the only way to kind of, the best way is to save it for me, which contradicts a little bit of your answer, Star, is at this point, just do a refresh and do a Destiny 3.
I've heard that starting that too. I've heard people say that.
Start over. Get your game plan together. Now that you don't have Activision in the middle, and just give me a refresh and let's go from there.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that. It's starting over again, but don't make a Destiny 4.
No. Yeah.
I think, because the school's out for me on Destiny 3. Like, I'll be honest with you, like, I'm still on the fence of not really wanting that. And I think main reason, because it's like, for one, you're already in a really real rough spot. And like, I know that final shape could turn the tides and people could be, that was the most amazing thing, and it could get them hyped for the 3. But I'm going to kind of go between my thoughts and the thoughts of there's a YouTuber, I can't remember his name. I think Aztecross.
All right.
I think that, and so I'll go into a little what I've and I'll put his link in there of that video too, just so I want to give him credit. But so my thoughts for the Destiny 3 is the track record of like the release of the first 2 was a little rocky, to be polite about it, especially with 2, where 2 had a great campaign, when it came out, but I think people were still kind of stewing over the fact that, man, we're having to just like really refresh, where we put all this work in Destiny 1, got all this gear, got all this stuff, and like none of that stuff carries over like whatsoever. Like, because they kept selling it as like it was going to be a whole different thing, a whole new experience where none of that stuff was going to matter. And then you slowly but surely over time saw them bring back stuff where it's like, oh, hey, remember Base Mythic class is back. Remember the vault is back. Whatever. And it's just like, so in other words, you're saying to us that you could have just kept Destiny 1 and just expounded on that.
Thank you.
But you had to do the sequel. And I've said that from the get-go. I was already upset when they first said that. I was like, why are we doing this like sequel to this? Like, this is more of a almost like a MMO type thing where you can just build off of it, build off what you got. You know what I mean? It's already fun as it is. So that right there is what gets me. And so when Destiny 3 can come around, that's kind of my feeling on that potentially being an issue. Because I remember when Destiny 2 came, where they were about to release that, and they were like, hey, man, you got so many different great things you're going to be able to do in the lost sectors and this and that. And it's like, I ain't gonna lie, I got a little, okay, I'm still not happy about 2, but I'll be willing to check out all this new expansion of the universe and going to all these, unknown sectors of the world of the galaxy. Cool. But what did it end up being? Just few additions and then a lousy end game in the beginning. And it was just like, it's just so terrible. So that's would be my main concern about it. And then the other thing, I think this is where I guess what Aztecross was saying was, if you do it, you have to definitely do it as a full reset or refresh, meaning you can't really have you can't have the same enemies.
Yeah.
It can't be any part of the same story from old. It has to be something wholly, completely different. Like, if you want to take some characters to expound on their stories, okay, fine, but it's got to be a different feel altogether. It can't continue. He said, what did he say? I think he said, if you bring out Destiny 3 and the first thing I see is like, I don't know if he said not Taken, but oh God, Fallen or like, the Vex, then he's like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna just feel like more of the same. And I was like, you know what, I actually feel that. I can kind of get behind that because it's kind of done at this point.
Y'all remember Dynasty Warriors?
Yeah.
You remember how that gameplay was amazing because you got to defeat so many enemies on screen at one time, and you can upgrade your character, your weapons, and you get more damage done with a special move and everything. After a while playing that, it gets redundant, and that's why I think the Destiny fell into that trap of being redundant because they try to add these false aspects in the game to make you feel like you're still doing something separate in the game, but you really just again doing more redundant things. I don't want another game where I just gotta keep building my light level because you're giving me an excuse to have to put more time in the game to do the same thing in the game, but just to fight the enemies differently. Like they can't keep up with those gimmicks anymore. It's like they have to put more substance into these games now. Like give us character building, give us story building, give us something to go along with the purpose of doing this game or playing this game every day. Not just building my light level, not just trying to find all the parts and blueprints and whatever other type of tedious task I need to be able to get a weapon. Like it's getting ridiculous now.
Yeah, and it's like, because then there was even talks about like the engine, with the Tiger engine they're using, and would they just have to go like getting back to Destiny 3 if we were hypothetically saying that's coming out, like would they have to switch the engine and how it's not going to be so easy to do so? And then I just started thinking a lot, like as we were talking about this, like looking at games like World of Warcraft and how they've been able to kind of continue on for so long, adding new expansions and kind of keeping that same feel for people that really, really love the game. I mean, is it still going to this day? I think it's still like.
I think it is.
Yeah. It's even you have a WoW Retail, which is like the current version of World of Warcraft, and then you have a WoW Classic, which is like back to how it was like many, many years ago. So there's two versions of the game running right now.
Gotcha. So I just started thinking like that, and I know World of Warcraft, that was a subscription-based model. So I started thinking like, would Bungie have to do that in order to make something like Destiny 3 work, where they can get the adequate support, I guess, needed to make such an expansive effort of a next game, of a part 3. But then I started thinking about reports about how they kind of blew through cash quite a bit that they got from Sony, and it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I trust them with that kind of financial aspect to allocate it in the right spots. Maybe if you got a refresh, speaking of refresh of like management or the execs that have a greater vision of like, say how Baldur's Gate went, not saying they have to be like, the people, at Baldur's Gate for sure. Like, but I'm just saying like maybe have that more focus on, hey, what do the players want? What is the engagement like? What are they asking for? And hey, let's make it happen. And then now we can justify why we may say, hey, we're going to move to a subscription-based model, or this is what we're asking for this amount of money because you're going to get so much of this. Maybe it could work, but in its current form with management, man, I don't know.
No.
I just don't know if it's going to really happen that well or that way.
Destiny, how far are you falling?
Gunplay still feels good, but that's all it really has going for at least for me. That's all and with my friends, playing with friends, and that's always a good point.
Well, hey, fingers crossed, new year, maybe some new announcements. Maybe Sony has to yell at him a little bit, point the finger, maybe get him in shape. So who knows? Maybe we'll see some changes from Destiny coming in the near future from Bungie itself. You
never know, man. That's how it goes, man. You just never know what could happen. Things could turn around, like No Man's Sky came back. So
exactly.
So
Stranger Things 14.
That another good example. So it can happen. It's possible.
Things have happened. So I think that's a good point to call it. What about you? What about y'all?
Yeah, man, I think so. I think so, man. I think, well, let me ask you something real quick. That Spider-Man 2, since Spider-Man 2's come out, you still sticking with Baldur's Gate for Game of the Year?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
I mean, best action game? Yeah, it's Spider-Man, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But overall, you still feel like Baldur's
action.
Gate?
Yeah, best game overall, Baldur's Gate. I mean, as I was telling my friend who was he said before that Spider-Man should be Game of the Year, and it came out, he definitely was like, yeah, Spider-Man should be Game of the Year, which don't get me wrong, phenomenal game. And if Baldur's Gate didn't come out, I would probably say Spider-Man for sure. Mm-hmm. But I mean, just the choice and the freedom and the playability you're going to get from Baldur's Gate, man. And just playing that campaign with my friend for the first time was one of the best gaming moments I've had in a long time, man. Some amazing sessions. So it's just, I don't know, Baldur's Gate is just a different animal. And one of the reasons why I can't wait for Crossplay to come out so we can finally sit down and play it. But yeah, man, it's just for sure Game of the Year.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I got, man. I mean, I was just curious. I wanted to see if you stood there. I figured you would. But,
Yeah. Which, again, I wouldn't be upset if it doesn't win, which I guess we'll find out next month. I think maybe there's a cutoff. No, I think it should be fine. There's a cutoff in November or something like that for it to not be considered in this year's Game of the Year awards.
I think I do remember hearing something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
but I think it's in November, so I think it should be good for this year. So we'll see, man. It's gonna be hard. There was a lot of great games this year. Maybe just thought about it. Maybe that's an episode we can do. Just talk about all the great games that came out this year because it's a long list.
Hey, man, I'm with it. I'm definitely with that. Kind of a la what we did before. We talked about our predictions, so that was fun. I actually had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, we could do that again too. The predictions for the Game Awards.
Yeah, that'd definitely be fun.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, we appreciate y'all listening to us ramble for a little bit. Hopefully, it was a little enjoyable and y'all had a good time.
Yes, indeed. And
BP, go ahead and plug them socials.
Oh, I was about to, but be sure to check out. Hey, I appreciate that though. You keep me on my toes. But yeah, y'all guys check us out at www.podpage.com/gamercredits. That's kind of like the central hub where you can find us all the different platforms we're on. Of course, then there's YouTube that we still have coming through. Definitely have all that in the show notes description as usual. I know I've been saying this for a minute, but I'm still trying to actively work on getting our Discord up, at least a public sector of it. So just stay tuned for that. I'll try to, get to some point where I can give a really good, decent update of it. But yeah, so we got that going on. And I think I haven't been putting our Gmail back up on the last episode. So I'm going to start doing that again just until I can figure out the other media platforms out. But yeah, until then, just check that out and just be ready for the next episodes as they drop. So,
nice.
Anything you got, Star?
No, I just want to say everybody stay safe out there. Try to stay in love and peace out.
Oh man, you did a selfless thing. I thought you had some selfish plugins that you had, maybe some stuff you working on. Okay, not bad.
No.
All right, well,
good enough for me.
Let's get it.
All right, y'all. Peace out.